talk about the conception and the gestation period, about how this incredible album came about. How did it all start? Who got in touch with who? Who got the spark?
Well, the spark is Bonnie's, right? Okay, so we're not telling tales out of school to say that she sobered up and had always been an amazing artist, but realized that whatever emotion she was trying to drown out, she was now going to have to deal with and express musically. So she'd been writing songs and was pretty far along that path when Ed and I came into the picture. The way I met her was a guy named Hal Wilner was doing these tribute records, and Hal was doing a Disney album with it was just really eclectic artists doing Walt Disney songs. And we were going up against Carla Bley and some really outside folks, John Zorn. So what we'd learned from previous Hal Wilner records was you can't out Carla Bley, right? So you just get lost in the shuffle. So we thought we'd take it very inside, and we had this song, Baby Mine from Dumbo. And I was just hearing it. I heard it with Bonnie singing it. So Hal got in touch with Bonnie, and she came over to my house, and she came over on we were having a party at our house, and all the guys from Was Not Was were there, and there were maybe like 100 people in our house, and Sir Harry was leading line dancing to soul music.
Sir Harry. Maybe you need to explain who
Sir Harry's one of the lead singers in my old band, Was Not Was. He sang with the OJs for a long time, and he's just a great soul singer, very large personality. So Bonnie Raitt walked into my house, and everyone's like line dancing to Sam and Dave and Motown records, and I think she thought that was what my house was like all the time. So she said, "Oh, I love this guy. Great." If she'd have come over an hour before, it would have been a different story. So she sang "Baby Mine" and sang it beautifully, and because of that, we struck up a relationship that led into Nick of Time. And she loved Ry Cooder's record, Get Rhythm, which Ed had recorded, and she called Ry, and Ry had very high recommendation for Ed. So the three of us.
He hated me.
So the three of us got together and had lunch on Ventura Boulevard, and that's the first time I met Ed.
We went to Musso and Frank's.
Is that where it was?
Yeah.
Good.
All
Okay.
right. You know about Musso and Frank's? The oldest restaurant in Hollywood. I bet you sat in the Charlie Chaplin booth. So
Can I just add to that?
Please do.
So I was fortunate enough to meet Ry Cooder and do a record for him, and that's Serious Training Grounds. And then, because of that, I got a record to do with David Lindley and his band El Rayo X. But I knew who Was Not Was. I was a big fan of Was Not Was, but I never met them. I had their records, but I knew that Bonnie was going to be making a record, and I bugged everyone I knew. I loved Bonnie Raitt forever. I bugged everyone I knew that knew her to recommend me for the gig, and I think Terry Becker, all kinds of people went to her, and it came through that way. And I was living in Santa Monica, and the beauty of this business is when the phone rings, sometimes you have to check your phone to make sure it's working, but sometimes the calls you get, and I remember walking into my apartment, and the phone rang, I hadn't been that busy. Hello, yeah, this is Don Was, and all the hairs on my body stood up. My knees got weak.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I'm going to be doing this Bonnie Raitt record. Would you meet us for lunch? I think tomorrow, the next day. And we met at Musso and Frank's. I think we sat there for 3 hours. Ended up just laughing, and I fell in love with both of them, right away. And it was just, it's just one of those kismet kind of things.